Doughnuts used to be called oily cakes because they were deep fried in pork fat. They were ball-shaped when Dutch pilgrims brought them to America, but then someone found that removing a nut from the center helped them cook far more evenly. And so, the doughnut was born. The average American consumes 2 doughnuts per day. Maybe even up to 3 if you could stand to lose a few pounds. To make cake donuts, batter drops from a mixer into boiling water, being shaped by a nozzle as it passes through. The bubbles from the water cook the donuts for about 1.5 minutes until a conveyor carries them out of the bath to cool. Donuts made from yeast, however, are far more complicated. A high-speed mixer works some yeast dough until a worker depressingly sags it into bins. From there, it goes onto a hopper that extrudes the dough as a sheet. Then it's onto another conveyor belt which leads the dough into a steamroller. The roller applies steam to the dough as it presses it to help cook the dough evenly. Thus the name steamroller. Next, the dough passes under a shower of old donut crumbs, recycled for factory use, to give the donuts more volume and texture. Then it hits a rotating flavor cylinder, which simultaneously rolls the dough into a log and smashes it full of the recipe's required sugars and spices. A small pipe sprinkles the dough with water, so it stays reasonably wet during the next section, the dry roller, which is a steam roller without any steam. A dusting of donut powder keeps the dough from turning into bagels as an industrial blade slices through it. A retractable arm drops the donuts 4 at a time onto a wire mesh tray. Most of the donuts are bleeding from their wounds, enhancing their flavor. Then it's off to a machine called a proofer, which raises and lowers the donuts to show the symbiotic relationship between product and consumer. Meanwhile, at a nearby theme park, the inflatable rafts enter the water. Gas burners boiling the water and a large metal flipper make this the world's most unpleasant water park ride. Back at the factory, the donuts have now been fried and are soaked in a solution of liquid calories. Hair dryers at the end of the cycle blow off the excess coating. But let's face it, Tubby, you don't need all of that. They gradually cool as they spiral around the production area and head off to packaging. Filled donuts are handled a bit differently. Once out of the fryer, they hilariously tumble around a Whirlpool brand dryer filled with powdered sugar. Then, workers use nozzles to inject jam and other fillings into the donuts. Or they don't. It really all depends on how they feel. Most of the time, they spend all day arguing if donut is spelled D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T or D-O-N-U-T. The world may never know.